We are back after a week off, and we're here for the NFL Week 18 Pick'em. Gage, how you doing? Since we talked on here last, you attended a Christmas Day game. How you doing, man?
I attended the Christmas Day game. It was good to be there. That's about it. But yeah, like you said, took a week off. I think it was nice just to have that week to refresh, enjoy the holidays with everybody, and come back for this one. Don't really want to talk much about that Steeler game that I went to because there really wasn't nothing about it besides for Travis Kelce being the all-time receptions leader for tight ends in Chiefs history. Besides for George Pickens having another blow up, besides for George Pickens not running his route on the Russell Wilson interception, besides for it was just a lot of bad things that happened for us. So yeah, not good.
Well, since we spoke last, the Steelers have had two games that they've played, the Saturday game and the Wednesday game. And we could just move forward if you'd like, Gage. It's fine.
Yeah, I just want to point out real quick. Last time we talked, the Steelers were 10-4, first place in the division. Now they're 10-6 in second place, and their only hope to win it is if Cleveland beats Baltimore.
Let me tell you, I was hoping Cleveland would have beat Miami last week, and we see how that went. So if they can't beat Miami,
hey,
sorry about your chance.
Done it once. They've already beat Baltimore once this season.
That was with Jameis, and we know Jameis is not starting. Cleveland, I believe this. If Cleveland's not going to play Jameis Winston, they're not trying to win because he's the only option at quarterback right now that'll give them a chance to win, I believe.
And I don't get it. Like, watching the game last week, I'm like, put Jameis in. What are you doing?
You're not going to win with Bailey Zappi or Dorian Thompson-Robinson. You're not even a real team at that point in time. Jameis is the best quarterback there. When he's good, he can be really good. But not even playing him is, what are we doing, Stefanski?
I didn't get it because I believe Winston, ever since being benched, has been the emergency quarterback. He's been inactive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Huh? Like, why? It doesn't make sense.
I know he's thrown a lot of picks, had some turnovers and stuff, but man, he still gives you your best chance.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But so we didn't pick last week, but the week before we picked, I went 9-6 in week 16. You went 10-5. Overall record 142-87 for me, and 149-80 for you.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad. Gage, who got killed on your fantasy team this past week?
So, my one league completely done. I took 5th place. It was actually good revenge because the guy had beat me earlier in the season by double my score. So I turned it around last week, and beat him by double his score. He was 11-3 going into it. I was 7-7. I came out in 5th place. He came out in 6th. So that was good. My sleeper league, I am in the championship, but we do it as a 2-week championship. So after last week, he was up 147 to my 139.8. And in the meantime, Jerome Ford died in the game in Miami. Let's see, what else do we have? Travis Kelce is just not playing this week. We also got James Conner put on season-ending IR. Why do you put him on IR when you're not making the playoffs? Couldn't tell you. So in turnaround, we also got CJ Stroud. I don't know what's going on with him because he's only projected 9 points this week. So I don't know if they think he's going to play a half.
Probably play a half.
I don't know. And then what else we got? Brian Robinson at Dallas, which you think would be a pretty good matchup. Projected 9.61 points. What else? We got Hunter Henry. I had to pick him up for Travis Kelce. He's still questionable, but he was the best available tight end. And, the people who did not die, though, last week, shout out to Brian Thomas and Mike Evans. The only problem with the Mike Evans, player, though, is I'm playing against Baker Mayfield. So whatever points Mike gets, Baker also.
Baker's getting, yeah. Well, I won my fantasy league this past week. Number 1, first place. Joey finished 8th in that league, by the way. So, anyways. But yeah, so, this will be the last week for fantasy football. For some, last week was the end. So, yeah. See how many people die this week on your team.
Yeah, and good thing it just won't matter.
Yeah, it won't matter after this. So look forward to next year and see how many guys you can kill off for the season.
Yeah, for whatever reason, this year in fantasy was just awful.
Yeah, I've never seen such luck with injuries in fantasy like you had.
Neither have I, and I don't want to see
week to week.
Yeah. I'm good if it never happens again.
You know what? This guy's done for the season. I'm going to pick up this guy off of waivers next week. Boom. Well, he's out for the next 6 weeks. Had to pick up another guy. Like, what? It's crazy.
There's a good reason why I try not to have any Pittsburgh players on my fantasy team.
You know what's weird? I don't really like having Bengals players on my fantasy team either, for whatever reason. And it's like, well, if they do good, I do good in fantasy, and I can root for all that. But it's kind of like I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like I want to watch the Steelers game. I don't want to go, oh, I need Pickens to have 2 more catches for at least 50 yards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, last week, the Bengals played on Saturday afternoon into Saturday night, in a game that they had to win against the Broncos, and they won it in overtime somehow. So, a little story here first before we talk about it. My sister attended the game. She calls me after the game was over with, and she said at halftime they had a fans day thing or something where they took 5 fans to come out and to kick field goals, 30-yard field goal. And if the kicker made the field goal, everybody in the stadium got free pizza.
Ooh.
So the first 4 come in there and they miss, not even close. Well, she said the last guy gets up there and he acts like he pulls his hamstring or something. He's hurt. So they're like, all right, we've got to call in a backup kicker. So they call in former Bengals kicker Shane Graham. He kicked for the Bengals back in the 2000s. And he comes out and he misses. And they're like, all right, since it's fans day, we're going to give Shane one more opportunity to kick this field goal. And she said he comes out and he misses a second time. So, foreshadowing for later on in the game when Cade York comes out and doinks the field goal. It's like they've seen field goal misses all game long, including halftime. So, yeah, I don't know if it's some sort of bad mojo in the stadium or what, but yeah, so they didn't get free pizza that night. But they did get an entertaining football game.
That is for sure. I thought Denver was going to win it. When they get in, well, first of all, when Denver was up like 10-0 or whatever at one point, I think, and I was like, oh man, are they gonna like run away with this? Like, wow, what's going on? And then you go to overtime. I'm like, last time I looked, it was in the first quarter, and now we're in overtime. Like a lot of points scored, and then I'm like,
it was 10-10 going into the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden. Touchdown pass to T. Higgins in the corner of the end zone, and then a deep bomb to Marvin Mims. And then, Burrow scores a touchdown because Chase Brown slides and awkwardly gets hurt. Instead of running down the clock, you have to run in the touchdown.
Yeah.
And then the Mims touchdown in the corner.
That Mims touchdown catch, incredible.
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. And then you go into overtime. It's like, all right. No, wait. Denver had the ball first, right?
Cincinnati had the ball first.
Okay, Cincinnati.
Cade York missed a
doinked
field goal.
Yeah.
Doinked it, yep.
It wasn't that long either.
No. And so like I always say, don't leave it to the leg of your kicker. Especially if you got an offense like the Bengals do. Go for the kill right there in the game.
Yeah.
But they decided to do that, missed, and then I don't know what Denver was doing in this game. I have no idea.
What needed was a tie to get into the playoffs, and you throw it twice, and they're both.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they did because it gave the Bengals a minute and something, 2 minutes left, and they're doing that. And I'm like, what are they doing for their purposes?
Yeah.
And then
The only thing I could think of when like York doinked that field goal was like, oh, Brent's going crazy right now.
oh, you have no idea. I was yelling from the couch for sure at that moment. Oh, I was calling him all kinds of things. Why are we leaving it up to this guy? Other stuff. That's a little toned down version. But yeah, I was a little animated that night.
Honestly,
and then
hasn't been bad since replacing McPherson, and then he misses the most important one right now.
I may be wrong, but I don't think he had missed a field goal since replacing McPherson. Maybe one until that night. But that was a big one.
That was a big one, but good thing it ended up, no.
T. Higgins in the corner. Yeah. And, I'm going to miss him next year, T. Higgins, because I don't think we're signing him.
Hey, I saw a thing. I don't know if I can pull it up quick, but I saw a thing to where he said he would take less money to come back to Cincinnati.
Ooh.
I don't even know if I saved it or if I. Yeah. His quote was, being paid as a wide receiver 1 isn't the top motivator. I'm playing with one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best wide receivers. That opens things up for me. In this offense, everyone gets a chance to be spotlighted. He said that to a CBS reporter. So maybe.
That would be really nice if he could. Oh, man. Get my hopes up here on a Friday morning, Gage.
Add a little excitement into it.
Oh, well, so Indy also, they needed to lose last week for the Bengals to kind of make the playoffs. Them and the Miami Dolphins. Miami ends up winning over Cleveland, of course, but Indy giving up 45 points to Drew Lock and the New York Giants. What?
I don't even know what to say. Drew Lock, 5 touchdowns. It's not like I did much. Drew Lock, 5 touchdowns. Like, what are you doing?
Unbelievable. Like, most surprising score of the week, I believe, right there. Of the season, maybe. 45 points.
And if anyone took a flyer on him in fantasy, shout out to you. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think too many people did, but if they did, like you said, congrats.
It was one of the most efficient games as a quarterback that we've seen in a long time, too. 17 of 23, 309 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then he had a rushing touchdown on top of that. Like, what?
Joe Flacco led the Browns to the playoffs last year, and he led the Colts out of the playoffs this year.
Yeah, good job, Flacco.
Didn't have any of that magic anymore like he did last year.
I'm glad I didn't start Josh Downs because all those points and Buddy had 3 catches. So,
yeah, for a guy who's had like a lot of catches and a lot of yards this year, he didn't do much, like you said, with all them points scored. But thank you, New York, at least. Now we just have to have 2 teams lose.
What's needed for Cincinnati to get in besides obviously them winning?
So they have to have, and this is a lot, they have to have the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and maybe his last game, so maybe he's wanting to come out and be Aaron Rodgers. They have to beat the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs with Carson Wentz have to beat the Broncos.
Potential.
Can we get 2017 almost MVP Carson Wentz tomorrow or Sunday? Can we get that, please?
No, it's going to be, bad Carson Wentz.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, who's the running back? Is Kareem Hunt starting, or are we getting a full dose of Carson Steele to start the whole game? Like, I don't know.
Maybe they'll go and
P. Ryan?
Maybe they'll hope that the Saints drop Edwards-Helaire again, and the Chiefs re-pick him back up.
Yeah, they're going to need some bodies out there, I guess. But it's a lot for If it was a normal week, I would be like, hey, there's a good shot here. But Carson Wentz, come on.
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh, well, the Chiefs, they're not going to try because they don't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. The Chiefs don't care. Chiefs don't care who's in the playoffs. They got to buy anyway. They don't care if the Bengals get in there. Whatever. They beat them once already. They're going to play at their place. They got home field advantage. Think they're worried about a 9-8 Bengals team? No.
Now, I kind of hope that the Bengals don't make it because I think them and the Bills are the two most dangerous teams to look out for. We already have the Bills in here. I don't want the Bengals in here.
If they get in, they would play Buffalo in the first round. So, yeah. But if not, it's the Broncos going to Buffalo and but I don't think the Chiefs are afraid of that scenario. I think they're wanting to give their guys some rest, but people talking like, oh, they're scared of the Bengals. I don't think you've watched Chiefs games. I mean, they win these games by very little slim margin all the time. I really don't think they're afraid of anybody, though. I don't like them, but,
Yeah. They're not afraid.
No. So we'll go on and jump into our picks for the week, and we start out in a game that you will have a little rooting interest in. The Cleveland Browns at 4:30 on Saturday travel to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is a 20-point favorite. With a win, Baltimore clinches the AFC North. Gage, a 20-point favorite for Baltimore. I'm pretty sure this is an NFL record. What are we thinking here?
That has to be an NFL record. We were surprised when 14.5 was the spread here for a couple Ravens games. 20 points. Well, guess what? Just because I have to do it, we're doing it early with the underdog pick of the week. Robinson and the Cleveland Browns to beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Just because the NFL script works that way. Give me Cleveland. Give me the dog through the 20 points.
Oh, man. 20-point underdog. This is like some of the college spreads look better than this, with lesser competition. And here we are at a 20-point spread in a professional football game. What? If Jameis plays, this probably gets cut in half, right? I would think. But, who are they starting? Are they starting Bailey Zappi, DTR? Does it matter? Probably not. Lamar and them, they want to win that North. They're going to come out. They're going to come out firing. I don't know if they cover 20. 20's a lot. 20's a whole lot. I mean, they could probably do it, but I don't think they will. But I think Baltimore ends up winning this game, and they win the North before the nightcap. Give me the Ravens.
Well, I also think, AFC North football, the games are always close. They're never that much of a blowout.
No. And, they played the Giants a few weeks ago, the Ravens did. And it was 14.5-point spread or whatever it was?
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, that's a team out of your division. You got a team in the division, like you said, AFC North matchup. It's not going to be that big of a spread. But ultimately, I just don't think Cleveland's got it this week. I mean, they could play spoiler, but I think they're playing the wrong guy at quarterback. And I think that's the difference there. Because if they play Jameis, I'm pretty sure, they got a puncher's chance at that point in time. But they're not. Give me the Ravens. But I'll take the Cleveland cover.
Sad. No, the Cleveland cover doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean nothing. And so we continue the AFC North trend on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Cincinnati Bengals travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati is a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what are we thinking here?
I'm thinking I'm going to make a story with my picks here. I'm going to follow the NFL script. I think Cleveland will win the early game, and Acrisure Stadium is going to explode when they knock Cincinnati out of the playoffs, win the AFC North, and have their first home playoff game in I don't know how long. Give me the Steelers, again, the underdogs, but nearly not as much as Cleveland.
No.
Give me the Steelers, but I think it's going to be like what we saw last time with the 40, 30-point game.
So I think, let me check here. It looks like, I think we have a different script. I don't know if this is an alternate or what, but in my script, it says the Bengals are going to win this game. They're going to cover the spread and win by 3. Cade York's going to redeem himself and kick a last-minute field goal. And they're going to keep their hopes alive for Sunday because we got to have some drama on Sunday. So, yeah, that's what the script says here. I don't know. It's different. We got different scripts. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, give me the Bengals. It should be a highly entertaining game. Both teams are going to be trying. They're going to win or lose. If Baltimore's already locked up the North, Pittsburgh's still going to play to try to keep Cincinnati out of it. They need to get something going. Pittsburgh's lost 3 games in a row. So is it 3?
Yeah.
3 games in a row. So they need to get something going here into the playoffs, some sort of momentum, because, they'll be playing next week. So, 4 losses heading into the playoffs would not be good for Pittsburgh. So they got to get something going. So I think they'll be playing. And, of course, the Bengals will be playing because they're fighting for their chances. Because that first game to them doesn't make any difference at all.
No.
It's whatever they do and then whatever happens on Sunday. Give me the Bengals. Give me them to keep their playoff hopes alive, maybe for just one more day.
We're going to come back on here next week, and I'm going to be like, I don't even want to be in the playoffs. It's fine. It's fine.
If we end up, we're talking about maybe doing the overreaction, Bengals and the Steelers. I think that if we do that, either one of us on here will be like, you know what, football just absolutely sucks. I can't wait to watch baseball.
We have hockey season right now. I'm just going to go tune on the Penguins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it can be very interesting.
Yeah. You might see me balled up in the fetal position on the overreaction episode.
Or it could be me and Joey over there, virtually crying on each other's shoulders while you're celebrating. You never know. We'll see. So we head to Sunday, and there are some meaningful games on Sunday and some nothing happening games on Sunday. We start out with the Carolina Panthers traveling to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are an 8-point favorite, and with a loss are eliminated. Gage, what do you think here?
8-point favorite surprises me with how well Carolina's been playing. They haven't been winning much, but you can see the difference in this team from the start of the season with Bryce Young to Bryce Young coming back from being benched. Atlanta, Michael Penix has not done a lot. He has, one touchdown pass, and it happened last week to send the game to overtime. It was a great throw, and it was a great catch. But you only have one. You have a couple interceptions. He's not really running the ball like I thought he would. But Bijan's carrying a lot. He's scoring a lot. So that might be the difference maker. And Carolina's defense is not that good in the passing or in the running game. I think Bijan's going to have a field day. And that's what's going to allow Atlanta to get the win and get to the playoffs. Give me Atlanta, but I think Carolina covers.
Yeah, like you said, Carolina has improved a whole lot. Bryce Young looks like he may belong in this league now after looking like he didn't at the beginning of the season. So much improvement from getting that bench time from the beginning of the year till now. Michael Penix, the jury's still out on him. He's only played 2 games. It's kind of odd to make a quarterback change this late in the season during the playoff push, but I don't think he's been that bad, but Bijan is the story for Atlanta. He's the straw that stirs the drink for sure. I think he's going to have a big game again. They're going to put it on his, back, but legs, and he's going to carry the team again to a win this week. I think they win, but I think Carolina covers. Carolina's going to come out and play. And They're going to want to spoil Atlanta's season, and they got an opportunity to. But give me the Falcons in this one. But give me a Carolina cover.
Now, my question is, if Atlanta makes the playoffs, who do they start at quarterback? Do you start your rookie who has not had a good couple games here, to begin his career? Or do you go with the veteran who has playoff experience and know what that's like?
I think if you're Raheem Morris, you go with you see what he does this Sunday. If you see Penix looks good and comfortable and you think he could do it, you probably stick with him. If there's any questions at all, I think you got to go with Kirk Cousins at that point in time.
I think it also depends who it's against as well.
Yeah, right. That makes a difference too. There's a few factors in that, but it'd be interesting to see if they make it. But they got to have other things happen though before they make it, which we'll get into in a little bit. The next 1 o'clock matchup, the Washington Commanders travel to Dallas to face the Dallas Cowboys. Washington's a 6-point favorite. Dallas has been eliminated from playoff contention. The Commanders still fighting for seeding. Gage, what do you think here?
After the showing that Dallas gave last week against Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee, I have no faith in them at all. Cooper Rush looked awful. The entire team looked awful. They just released Ezekiel Elliott here the other day. Maybe he'll catch on to a Super Bowl team and get a ring finally, something he could never achieve in Dallas. Washington has looked phenomenal, at least offensive-wise. Defensive-wise, they're a little shaky. They went into overtime with Atlanta last week. Not nearly as good as they were at the beginning of the season, but I don't think it's going to matter. Give me Washington to win this divisional matchup, and I think they cover, and I think they, know that their seeding depends on this game.
Yeah, I think Dallas pretty much gave up when they said CeeDee Lamb was going to set out the rest of the season. I think they threw up the white flag at that point in time. Then they went and played Philly and got destroyed. I think it's going to be more of the same this week. I think Washington wins this game. I think they cover. Washington's rolling into the playoffs. They've had a good year, really good year. Got a chance to get to, what is it? How many wins they got, 11?
I think so.
Got a chance to get to 12 wins, which is amazing turnaround. That shows what, the quarterback and then the head coach coming from Dallas, what that can do to a franchise to turn it around just like that in one season. Mm-hmm. Give me the Commanders here. I think that they win it. I think that they cover the spread. I think that it'll be a big win for them. And see what they can do in the playoffs. I'll be interested to see, if they can make any noise in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm. It'd be great if they knocked out Philly.
It would be. Hey, they've already beat them once just a couple weeks ago. And they had all their guys playing. Well, Jalen Hurts, I guess, went out. But, Kenny Pickett played pretty good since he's come in.
Yeah, done.
The next 1 o'clock matchup, we go to the NFC North. The Chicago Bears travel to Green Bay to face the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is a 10-point favorite. Gage, does it really matter who the Bears play or the Packers play this week?
I feel like this could be, a Malik Willis versus Caleb Williams or Malik Willis versus Tyson Bagent game, and the Packers are still going to win. You could throw Jaden Reed at quarterback. You're still going to win. It's Chicago. We had high hopes for them at the beginning of the season. They absolutely did not live up to it. Give me Green Bay in this one, and I think they cover the 10 points. Chicago is just horrible.
Yeah, Green Bay really, they don't have anything to play for. Maybe seeding purposes, I think. Mm-hmm. Are they right now 6th, 7th seed? Them and Washington's close.
Yeah.
I know they both are sitting at 11-5 right now, so I'm really not sure who the 7th seed was there. But anyways, I think that Green Bay will win this game. I think they cover too. Chicago's quit halfway through the season anyway. Yeah. They haven't looked good since Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was their last good game, and it was mismanaged by Eberflus, got fired the next day, and they have quit since then. So give me Green Bay in this one.
Yeah, Green Bay is the 7th seed at 11-5. Washington is the 6th seed at 11-5.
Yeah, so Green Bay has a chance. If Green Bay and Washington win, they got 12 wins, and they're going to be a 7th seed.
Yeah.
You go to the AFC, if the Bengals get in or the Dolphins, they're going to have 9 wins.
Houston already 9 wins, and they're the 4th seed.
Yeah, but if you look at it, though, I think that the AFC is the stronger conference still. Yeah. They just beat up on each other. I don't know. Green Bay all the way there this Sunday. The next matchup, this is a game that means absolutely nothing. The NFC South, the Houston Texans, unless you got somebody in fantasy, travel to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee is a 1.5-point favorite, which tells me, Gage, C.J. Stroud's probably not getting a lot of run in this game.
Yeah.
What do we think?
Oh, that hurts. Man. Yeah. I like the way Mason Rudolph has been playing. Hasn't been good, but I like the way he's been playing. Tony Pollard, maybe he'll play this week. Don't know. Same thing with Tyjae Spears. I'm going to take the favorites just because I don't really know what it would be. Davis Mills starting, I believe, then for Houston. Long neck, Money Mills. Give me the Titans in this one. I think they cover because if Stroud's not playing, that tells me Nico's not playing. Tells me Mixon's likely not playing. I don't really know who even the starters would be then for those guys that would take over. So, like I said, give me Tennessee, give me the points.
Would it be like maybe Michi or something like that? Would that be your top receiver at that point in time? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe him. I don't really know. I don't even know who else they have. Xavier Hutchinson, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so at that point in time, give me Tennessee. Tennessee's going to be playing their guys. Last game of the year. They've got nothing to play for, nothing to lose. Why not go out and just get a win at the last game of the season and put this terrible season behind for the Tennessee Titans? But, yeah, I like the Titans in this one, too. I think they cover. Not much else to say about that. I mean, one team's in the playoffs, and they're already in firmly. And they've already won the division. So we head to the other game in the AFC South, and it's the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Indianapolis Colts. Indy is a 5-point favorite in a game that also means nothing because the Colts lost to the Giants last week.
Yeah.
Gage, what do you think about this one?
Past couple weeks, Jonathan Taylor's been phenomenal. Don't know why he couldn't do it at the beginning of the season for everyone else that had him in fantasy. I did not, simply, but I don't know why he couldn't do that. And I suppose it's Flacco starting this week, or is it Richardson? I don't really know. But, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have a lot of positive things right now. Maybe not the season as a whole, but Mac Jones has looked really good covering in for Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas Jr. spoke about him before. Potential offensive rookie of the year if it's a different year. Dude has, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, or something ridiculous like that. And he's been one of the least talked about receivers. We talked about this last time because he's on the Jaguars. He's not going to get coverage, which isn't fun, I think. I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one. I think, both teams are going to try to ball out. I think the Jags are going to come out with a win. So give me the Jaguars to cover in this.
I like a Jaguars cover, but ultimately I think the Colts will win this game. They're going to be playing their guys, whether it's Flacco or Richardson, but Taylor I think is going to have a big game this week, and I think that's going to be the difference in this one. Give me the Colts in this one in another meaningless game. But speaking of, we head to another meaningless game, and it's the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills travel to Foxborough to face the New England Patriots. Buffalo is still a 2.5-point favorite over the Patriots. Gage, Drake May not be the answer in New England that people thought after performances like last week and the week before. He's kind of not looked so great. What do we think about this here?
He hasn't looked good at all recently. And I'm like, again, so much hope for this guy. And just, I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know if, your number one receiver being who, Kiki Booty or Pop Douglas, maybe that doesn't help as well. Jalen Polk, your top receiver, your favorite target's Hunter Henry, but he hasn't been, phenomenal. Last time the Bills played the Patriots, we thought it was going to be a good game, and then Buffalo just ran away with it. I suppose, Buffalo locked up the 2 seed. Mitch Trubisky is going to be playing. Yeah. Who else? Ray Davis, maybe. You're not going to see a heavy dose of other people like maybe Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman. You're going to see a lot of the younger guys, a lot of the non-starters playing.
No Shakir.
Shakir, yeah. Do we think that New England's first stringers can beat Buffalo's second, third, and maybe fourth stringers? It's Mitch Trubisky starting, and I have a hatred against Mitch Trubisky, so I'm going to say yes. Give me the Patriots to win this one. It's in Foxborough, so maybe that'll help out a little bit. Give me the Patriots. Obviously, they cover being the underdogs. I just hate Trubisky.
Bills aren't even going to be trying in this game. They're playing Trubisky. Patriots are going to come out. Drake May's going to have a decent game this week, and everybody's going to be back on the May hype train.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, hey, well, that was just the Chargers. Whatever. They'll be fine. Drake May will be fine. And it's going to be false hope, I think, because I don't know if it will be fine or not. Like you said, is it coaching? Is it who he has to throw to? Which Hunter Henry, maybe? Oh. But anyways, running back, like they don't run the ball much like they did at the beginning of the season. Like Stevenson, what has he done lately?
Not
Antonio Gibson,
sure.
Nothing. Anyways, I think the Patriots are going to come out. I think they're going to win this game too. I think they cover, and only because, like I said, this is a Drake May redemption from last week. The next matchup, 1:00 in a game that means absolutely nothing. The New York Giants travel to Philly to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's a 3-point favorite. Gage, do we know, is Kenny Pickett available, or is Tanner McKee coming back in to start this week for the Philadelphia Eagles? And what do you think about it?
I kind of hope it's Tanner McKee. Looking at it, it says, what's it say here? Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett remain out of practice on Thursday. So I'm rolling with the idea it's Tanner McKee. I kind of like Tanner McKee. I kind of liked him in college. I was very upset when Philadelphia got him because I was like, man, couldn't he go to like another team that needs a quarterback? But they're sitting a lot of their guys this week. Saquon likely isn't going to get a chance at the rushing record. You're likely not.
Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. I think you want him to get the record. Well, what happens if he tears an ACL? What happens if he's out for just one game in the playoffs? And now you got to start Kenny Gainwell at running back. You take that chance. And I don't know. I know a lot of Philly fans are upset about it, but I also think that you got to preserve your guys. You've been running Saquon a lot this year, and he has an injury history. You're lucky he hasn't gotten hurt yet. So I'm okay with that. But he's going to be out. You're going to have A.J. Brown likely not play. Devonta Smith likely not play. Drew Lock coming off a good game. And, the Giants, not a bad season. Not a good season. Very bad season. But they have something to look forward to with the fact that Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy are the first rookie duo to have 1,000 scrimmage yards each in a season since like Marquez Colston and Reggie Bush did it with the Saints in the early 2000s. So it's something to look forward to. Maybe it's something to build on. Maybe Drew Lock is your guy of the future. But maybe. Very debatable, but maybe. I think the Giants are going to win this one, though. It's against a lot of the backups. You have your starters in as a Giants fan. Give me the Giants. Give me the points. But I'm still not very confident in it.
Man, I'm with you, too. I think that the Giants are going to win this game as well because they're going to build off the momentum of that big win they had last week against Indy. And the Eagles have nothing to play for this week.
No.
So I don't think the Eagles are going to win this week And I also agree with the decision for them to set Saquon. You've got bigger long-term goals in mind. It would be cool for him to break the record, yes. But at the same time, like you said, he's got an injury history. You really want to go out there and have him get hurt in a meaningless game just so he could get a record that ultimately, who really cares? You got a chance to win the Super Bowl. You got to make a run here. You've worked him hard all year long. Let him get a week's rest because he's only going to have a week to rest. It's like a bye week. They haven't had a bye week since week 5 of the season. They've played – this will be 12 straight games if they played him. I agree with giving him the rest. But for this game, I like the Giants as well, only because the Eagles are setting everybody. And Drew Lock looked awesome. Maybe we're buying in and overreacting to Drew Lock's great game last week. But, yeah, I'll take the Giants in this one. And Malik Neighbors has been – he also could have been in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year too because he's been awesome. Something about those LSU wide receivers, man.
There should be a quarterback Offensive Rookie of the Year and a non-quarterback Offensive Rookie of the Year. Then I think it would be a lot better to spotlight more people.
Yes, I agree. Maybe they should do that. I mean, they love the awards at the end of the year, so why not add some more, right? I mean, that would be the best.
Yeah.
We head to the last 1 o'clock matchup of the week, and it is the New Orleans Saints traveling to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is a 14-point favorite in this one. Gage, the last time me and you both picked Tampa Bay on this program here, they went out and lost
Yeah.
to the Cowboys. So what are we thinking here on this one?
Predictions for this one, Mike Evans crosses the 1,000-yard threshold. He's like 80 yards away from it, and that's after missing, 5 games this season. So I think he's going to hit it. Baker, he's proven us right with feeding the ball to Mike Evans the past couple weeks since he's came back. Mayfield, maybe a snub from the Pro Bowls. Maybe. I know the 15 interceptions doesn't help, but still had a really good season. I think Tampa Bay is going to come out and win this one, though. Definitely not saying it so this way they lose. But I think Tampa Bay is going to come out and win, and I think they cover as well. Mike Evans gets the 1,000 yards, and maybe he adds 2 more touchdowns onto it as well.
Man, the Saints are just absolutely horrible. They're not good at all. Shane, Spencer, Rattler, Hayner, Shane, Hank, Jake, whoever. They've been horrible the last few weeks. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, like I said, the last time we picked them, and we always pick against them, but we picked with them this last time. They lost to the Cowboys. Well, we have to go with them this week again. Both of us do, because if they win, they're in the playoffs. They win the South, the NFC South, and they eliminate the Falcons. They're going to be playing their guys. They're a 14-point favorite for a reason. That's high too, I think, but I think that they'll actually cover this spread. That's how bad I think New Orleans has fell off. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm with you. Mike Evans gets 1,000 yards. I've read somewhere I think he gets like a $3 million bonus if he gets 1,000 yards this year. I think I'm right. I may just be throwing out numbers. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure it's $3 million bonus. So he's definitely going to want to get the ball. So I think he does. He needs 85 yards. I think they get it, and I think they win. I think they win big, and they roll into the playoffs next week. And they're going to be a dangerous team, as much as I hate to admit it, for somebody in the playoffs.
Yeah, I like hearing, week 18 or week 17 when it used to be 17 weeks. Oh man, this player needs this for this incentive, $750K or whatever. If he gets that $3 million incentive, it's going to be awesome. I love Mike Evans. I've liked him since he's come out of college. Other incentives, I didn't mention it, but for the Chiefs game, DeAndre Hopkins needs 1 touchdown for $500K. So if you sports bet and you want an anytime touchdown, give it to D-Hop because he's likely going to get all the red zone targets.
Oh, let's hope so. I hope he gets all the red zone targets and he scores about 5. I'm a Chiefs fan this week. Also another player. I'm with you. I like Mike Evans too. I like Bucky Irving as well. I think the Tampa Bay hate is more towards the quarterback of that team, maybe, from where he used to be. Also, they always let us down when we pick them in this thing. So that is where most of this Tampa Bay hate comes from. But I think they're going to actually, do us good this week. We'll see.
And who knows? Maybe they get into the playoffs. It's a repeat of last season where they just knocked Philly out.
You never know. They would host a game, though, against either Tampa Bay will host against either Detroit or Minnesota in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow. So we head to the 425 slate, which we're going to get into some games that may mean something in this slate, actually. We start off first with a game that I'm interested in. At 425, the Kansas City Chiefs travel to Denver to face the Denver Broncos. Denver is a 10.5-point favorite at home against the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Gage, what do we think here?
That 10.5 surprises me a lot. Carson Wentz is starting. You might not see a heavy dose of starting running backs. Kelsey's not playing, so Noah Gray's going to be in there. Blake Bell as well. Wide receiver-wise, I think the only one you're going to see starter-wise, at least for a good portion of the game, is D-Hop, or at least until he gets that touchdown. Just because, Andy Reid last year, meaningless Week 18 game. Chris Jones played to get one sack and get his incentive, and then was pulled. So I think you're going to see that this week. But I don't get it. Denver is still starting all their players. They're a good team, and they're playing for a playoff spot. How can you say that Kansas City's going to win? Unless you're a Bengals fan. Unless you're a Bengals fan, how can you say Kansas City is going to win? Personally, I think Denver's going to win it. And I know you're going to go the opposite, so we'll make a little drama here. Give me Denver. Obviously, somehow the underdog at home. Give me the Broncos in this.
Denver has lost 2 games in a row. They are on a losing streak. It's in their head now. The pressure is all on them. It's all on their shoulders. Carson Wentz is going to come out free and easy, and he's going to look like the 2017 almost MVP before he got injured. And do you start Hollywood Brown, where he just came back, and you maybe want to get him some reps for the playoffs?
He's the only other guy I could see them really starting.
Yeah, because like you said, you're not starting Worthy, you're not starting Kelsey, you're not starting – I guess you're playing D-Hop. So, like you said, to get that touchdown. Maybe he gets a lot of yards and he just can't find the end zone, but they get P. Ryan in the end zone or they get Blake Bell in the end zone, and then they're like, man, it's third quarter, we got to have D-Hop out here, and he scores the game-winning touchdown. Give me the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs win outright. They save the Bengals season for just a second. Give me Kansas City over Denver in Denver. That's what the script is reading right here. Yeah, it says it right there on the script.
Now, hear me out. If Cincinnati loses on Saturday, does that game matter? Or is Denver automatically in?
Denver still has to win, because if they lose and Miami wins, Miami's in.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah. So that game means something either way.
Yeah, so I think Cincinnati loses on Saturday and then just get their hopes double doinked, with a little Denver win.
Double doinked. I see you brought in a doink again. See what you did. At least it didn't matter. At least the other doink didn't matter. No. The next matchup, 425, the LA Chargers travel to Vegas to face the Las Vegas Raiders. LA is a 4-point favorite, and they will be playing because of seeding purposes. The Raiders have nothing to play for, and we have nothing to see there except for Brock Bowers. What do you think, Gage?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Steelers are at 10-6 right now at number 5. Chargers are 10-6 at number 6. If the Steelers lose, drop to 10-7, the Chargers have a chance to bounce over them. And if that's the case, Pittsburgh would be playing in Baltimore for their first game.
Yes. Yep.
So can we not have that happen? Please? I want to play Houston. That would be phenomenal. Please and thank you. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what you did on the last pick. Give me the Raiders to win this one against the Chargers. I don't know why. I don't know how, but magic happens. Give me the underdog. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders in this one.
Oh, is Aiden O'Connell's probably starting this week, right? He's, I don't know. Nah, he's not been good. Brock Bowers is the only thing that's on that team worth watching for sure. The Chargers destroyed the Patriots last week. It depends on what happens Saturday, whether they're going to play guys or not. If Pittsburgh wins Saturday, this game means nothing.
Yeah.
If Pittsburgh loses, this game means going to Houston over going to Baltimore. And the Chargers definitely want to go to Houston instead of Baltimore. And who could blame them?
Yeah.
Give me the Chargers in this one. I think they win because I think that they're going to play their starters because they're going to try to get that 5 seed.
I really feel like this week of Pick'ems is going to throw my record off so bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it may throw mine off some. I mean, I don't know. You went with a 20-point underdog at the very beginning, so.
I was going to say, you haven't made some of the gnarly picks that I've made in this.
I went with the underdog Chiefs. That was my biggest limb right there.
Yeah.
The next 425 matchup, the Seattle Seahawks travel to LA to face the LA Rams. Seattle is a 6.5-point favorite in this one. Gage, what do we think about this one here?
I don't think this one really has too much with the Rams, at least. The Rams, it looks like, have the number 3 seed locked up. However, the number 4 seed still available. And that comes, I believe, from the Seahawks. Maybe? I don't know. No? Okay.
No.
I'll act like I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I don't. So
4 seeds the NFC South.
The South, okay. Yeah. I know what I'm talking about, I promise. When it comes to this one, then, at least for the Rams, they really have nothing to play for. You have the number 3 seed. Maybe you drop to the number 4, depending on what happens in the South. I highly doubt it, though. So, does Matt Stafford play? Does Cooper play? Does Puka play? Does Kyron play? Does anybody play? Maybe they just forfeit the game. Maybe, you know what? No one needs to play. It's fine. I think Seattle's going to win. I do. Even if the starters play for both teams. Give me Seattle. Give me the points. And I think it's going to be one of the better games, though, of the week.
I'm probably going to disagree. I don't think it's going to be one of the better games. This is the meaningless game of the 425 matchups. Seattle's already eliminated. The Rams really don't have anything to play for. I don't know if Tampa Bay with a win and a Rams loss will put the Rams at the 4 seed. I don't know. That may be potentially. I don't know if the Tampa Bay can pass them or not. If they can, the Rams do have something to play for because you don't want to play Minnesota or Detroit at your place. You'd rather play, Green Bay or Washington. But I'm with you here. I think Seattle wins it. I don't think they want to come out and just, end their season on a high note. Give me Seattle. They've got nothing to play for. Give me them to cover too. I think they'll cover that 6.5. Then we head to a 425 matchup, which one of us on this show here has interest in. The Miami Dolphins travel to East Rutherford to face the New York Jets. Miami is a 1-point favorite on the road. Gage, this may be Aaron Rodgers' swan song. Does he go out on a high note? A high note.
I doubt it. Although Miami, they're hit or miss. They got, A-Chain's good. Mostert is a good change of pace running back. They went for it last week against Cleveland, like 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and it was a pitch to A-Chain. And it got stopped for it was either a yard loss or no gain. And Cleveland was able to take back over. That I don't understand that at all. You have Mostert. If you put him in there, they likely think you're not running. So there's a couple questionable decisions that Miami's been making recently. But it's the Jets. I know I've said before I can't trust the Jets. I feel like every time I say that, they go out and win. So let's say it again this week. I don't trust the Jets. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. I don't trust Breece Hall. I don't trust anybody on that team. Sauce Gardner, I think, finally had his first interception last week, potentially. I think he did. Yeah, give me the Dolphins. Give me the points. I don't trust the Jets.
So this is maybe Aaron Rodgers' swan song here. He's going to come out looking like the Aaron Rodgers of the older days. I don't want to say Aaron Rodgers of old because Aaron Rodgers looks old now. Yeah. Him and Devontae Adams going to have a magical moment one last time. I know they had a good week a couple weeks ago. Devontae Adams had a lot of yards, some touchdowns. Garrett Wilson's going to get on track here. Breece Hall's going to have a good game. Sauce Gardner's going to pick off two at the end when he's covering the cheetah. Everything's going to fall in place here. Aaron Rodgers goes out, starts his podcast next year about darkness and things. Yeah. Give me the Jets, and Rodgers goes out on a high note.
Maybe.
I can't believe that the Bengals season, if they win Saturday, rides on Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers, a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't think of it that way, but that's funny. I like that.
So what happens when you start 1-4?
It's what happens when you start 1-4. We're on this show going up. Bengals are already out of playoffs. They're not going to make it.
The last matchup of the week is a game that means nothing. San Francisco 49ers travel to Glendale to face the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's a 4.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think here?
Hey, the only good thing going in this game is Trey McBride scored his first receiving touchdown of the season last week.
Yes.
I was never so happy. I didn't watch the game. I was working, and I got the Bleacher Report notification. It was all capital letters. McBride scores first touchdown. I was like, yeah! I think that McBride has a big future ahead of him, I think. He's going to be one of the top tight ends in the league. This game's going to be awful, meaningless. Josh Dobbs, I believe, is starting at quarterback for the Niners. Dobbs had an insane run last year for about 2 or 3 games. Does he
for the Cardinals?
Does he pull off some magic this year? It's against one of his former teams, so maybe.
Yeah, one of.
I highly doubt it, though. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the points. Maybe Trey McBride has 2 or 3 touchdowns this game.
He may, and, as soon as this game's over with, Kyler Murray can get back to what really means the most, and that is Call of Duty. The Niners last week, they played pretty good against the Lions for the most part, for most of the game. They look like they may have actually beat them.
Yeah.
And then, they kind of, at the end. Did Purdy get hurt last week in that game, or?
I think he did.
Is that why Dobbs? Yeah.
He did a major injury.
I think I'm with you here. I think the Cardinals win. I think that they'll cover that spread in a game that they'll be playing their guys. The Niners have been disappointed this season. I've compared them to the Bengals, but they're out of it already. The Bengals still got a tiny shot, but I like the Cardinals to win their last game at home this year. And that leads us to one more game this week, and it is for there's a lot on the line in this one. You have the number 1 seed in the NFC. You have the NFC North title. One of these teams is going to have 14 wins, not win their division for the first time ever, and have to go on the road on their first playoff game.
Yep.
It's the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Detroit to face the Detroit Lions. Detroit is a 2.5-point favorite at home. Gage, what do we think about this epic battle right here?
Ah, man. Not only do they have to, win for the number 1 seed, whoever gets the, I would say, number 5 seed would be what the loser gets of this game. They'll have to travel to an NFC South team. I think they'll win that one no matter what, but then it just gets harder from there because you're likely going to still be on the road. Oh, Vikings or Lions? This, you know what? I said earlier about a good game. This is going to be the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do we trust Jared Goff in a clutch game that he needs to win? Do we trust Sam Darnold in a clutch game that he needs to win? Both of the answers to those questions are no. But one of them has to come out and win. I would be interested to see what happens if they tied, but one of them needs to win. And I think that team is going to be the Lions. I think the Lions have a better running game than the Vikings do. And I think when it comes to passing, the Lions are one of the more underrated teams, I think, in the passing game, just because they get so much attention for the running that they don't see that Jameson Williams has his best season of his career so far. They don't see that Sam Laporta, even though it's a down season from last year, is still a really good year. They don't see that some tackles and guards have more receiving yards than some wide receivers on certain teams do. So give me the Lions in this one. Give me the points, but it's going to be a game to watch for sure.
At the beginning of the season, when everybody talks about the game of the year, we're looking forward to the biggest game of the year. They put this game on at 8:20 on Sunday night, the very last game of the season. Everybody on their bingo card had Jared Goff versus Sam Darnold for the regular season game of the year. Absolutely. Nobody's seen anything different. Right. Man, these two teams right here have been awesome this year. I have said I don't think Minnesota is as good as their record is. I think they've been skating by a little bit. But, man, the last few weeks they've played really well and looked really good. Yeah. Sam Darnold has looked good this season. I mean, he may have earned himself another year in Minnesota with this season he's played. I mean, they really have a decision to make in this offseason. Do they stay with Sam Darnold or do they go with the rookie J.J. McCarthy? I don't know what you do at that point in time because you had plans on J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold's still a young guy. He's only been in the league a few years. He hasn't had a whole lot of experience playing. I mean, has a whole lot of wear and tear on his body playing, but he's looked awesome. Justin Jefferson will make a quarterback look awesome. Mm-hmm. Jordan Addison has played well this season. On the other side, if Cincinnati loses Saturday, of course I'm pulling for my Lions in this one, right? The Detroit Lions, they're without David Montgomery. But Jahmyr Gibbs, man, he's over 100 rushing and receiving yards. You combine yards from scrimmage every game just about. Been awesome. Jared Goff, he's got Mr. Reliable, Amon-Ra St. Brown out there. That guy right there just is tough. And then you got the flashy speedster, Jameson Williams, like you said, has had his best year so far. Sam Laporta has had a down season, but lately he's picked it up, quite a bit. He's been targeted a lot. But what worries me though, is the Detroit Lions defense.
Yeah.
That defense has not been good lately. A lot of injuries have contributed to that, but, at the same time, you got to be a little bit better than what you've been against some of these teams, giving up all those points. You're trusting Jared Goff to go out here and try to outscore teams. I think he does this time. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a great game. But ultimately, I think Detroit wins this game, and I think that they cover the 2.5-point spread, and Jake Bates kicks a field goal, and our Lions are the number 1 seed and get a bye in the NFC.
I just saw, I think it was yesterday, that the Lions released Jamal Adams from the practice squad. I'm like, man, with how many injuries they had, if you're getting released, are you just that bad?
Yeah, you would think they just need warm bodies out there on defense, but apparently that one's not the one they need. That just says a lot about Jamal Adams, I guess.
I think, though, that game Sam Darnold throws 1 or 2 picks, and at least one of them will be to the NFL's interception leader Kirby Joseph. And it just solidifies Kirby Joseph her potential defensive player of the year.
Which, if you would have said at the beginning of the year a Lions player was going to win Defensive Player of the Year, everybody would been like, okay, I can see it. Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Go a little bit further back. Yeah, I agree. Oh, man. But that is the Week 18 picks, and the next time we get on here, Gage, well, next time we get on here for this part, it'll be wild card pick'em. But we may be back before that with an overreaction after the Bengals-Steelers game. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's either going to be one of us very happy and two of us upset, or two of us very happy and one of us crying. I'm not too sure which one.
And either way, if two of us are really happy, it may just be for a day, but that will be so good. We will see. But, yeah, I can't wait for this weekend. Should be a great weekend of football once again. Last weekend was kind of a dud weekend, I thought. Week 17 Sunday slate was not good, really.
No.
But Saturday, was pretty good. This Saturday is going to be good. I think Sunday, half of it's going to be good. So if you just wait to the 425 slate, you're going to be entertained, I believe, from there on through the rest of the day.
If you just don't watch any football except for Sunday night, you'll be entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. But that'll do it here for us today, and we will see you all next time.
Later.